Welcome back. As you know, we're talking with Shane Mutlow, and we're talking about his book, 1 Foot Over the Edge. And Shane, I know you talk a lot about your experiences so far in the Rwanda aftermath, but let's talk about one thing that you got a unique opportunity to check out some of the local gorillas and wildlife out there.
Yes, there's the Rwanda National Park where there's the mountain gorillas, silverbacks. They were actually the same gorillas that Diane Fossey, who was in the movie Gorillas in the Mist, the exact same gorillas that were there. And if you've ever seen the movie Gorillas in the Mist, there's a lady who kind of brings her off the mountain because of the troubles that are happening. That lady still lives there. Her house is there. We saw her house, visited it, and wow. Yeah, it was amazing. So we trekked through the jungle for half an hour, 45 minutes with a couple guides, and next thing you know, it kind of opens up a bit and poof, there's all these gorillas. And then way in the background is the silverback, just kind of keeping overwatch.
Right, making sure you don't do anything silly.
Yep. And we got as close to him as you and I, and every once in a while one would come up and, touch stuff. So it was quite amazing.
Right.
And you get that close to them and you look in their eyes, and it's an eerie feeling because you think you're looking at a human. There's intelligence in their eyes, and it's hard to describe.
Right.
It was amazing. I couldn't believe it.
That's one thing that's awesome about all of these tours and missions that we end up going on is, you have some business that has to be done, but every once in a while you get to escape all that chaos and get to experience something that most people would never get to see.
Exactly.
And the gorillas, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But, now, of course, coming back to reality after an experience like that, how is it working with the officials in Rwanda?
It's kind of difficult. Their work ethic is very slow paced, doing whatever we feel like doing today, even though we have a set agenda, what we're supposed to do this day, stipulations as to what we can and what we can't do. They kind of feel, well, you're still in my country, you're helping me, so you're going to do what I say. Well, that's not the case. We're here as representatives of the UN, but in a lot of cases it doesn't work out that way.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know you had some issues working with the Rwandans as well as at the border and other issues. Yeah, there was a couple instances where they tried to have like a show of force or a show of power. You're in our country, you're going to do what we want, kind of working for them. And there was a couple times where it was 36 hours or more where they were unsure where we were. They had no way to get a hold of us. We couldn't leave the situation. There was another time they had to bring in some other UN forces to kind of dissolve the situation so that we could come back to our base in Kigali. Right.
Yeah.
Now, of course, these kind of incidences, they leave a mark. Every mission we go on always leaves some kind of mark on us. But after this, I know back in the 90s, PTSD was not really understood very well.
No.
And how was it when you first came back?
When I first came back, I didn't really notice a change in myself at all. Things would occur where I'd get frozen in time, or I'd lose my headspace, I'd react a certain way about something, but I had no clue as to why these things were happening. Shortly after I got back from Rwanda, I was then posted to Petawawa. So there wasn't much of a decompression time for myself. Oof. So it's come back, house hunting trip, get this ready, boom, going to Petawawa. You get to a new unit, you come to a new unit, try to fit in, get yourself, then they start exercises and courses and stuff. So there was really no decompression. It was just go, go, go.
Right. That is definitely different the way it is now, where you know, I know in back in the 90s, it was all about, okay, if you're having issues, just work through it and push through, and you'll be fine. White knuckle it until the end. About it. Yeah. And nowadays, you have that decompression moment where you can relax and get centered back. But you know, now you're home, posted, new unit, right into the fire.
Yeah, I'm thinking about my career, because, you know, I went on, did my leadership course, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get promoted now. Things are happening. The ball's really going now. And it just didn't work out that way.
Right.
You know, things started building up, and it worked out worse than what I expected.